So this time of year is a bit as predictable as snow in winter in the mountains. It is that time of year again. The Black Ops 6 or the Call of Duty beta has just finished and we're getting ready for the launch. Now, I use the word beta very, very loosely because this is not a beta, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke about this before. Activision, this is not a beta. It might be a fine-tuning exercise for them, but this is all about the marketing, guys, and getting you to get sucked in to the latest Call of Duty. And one thing that is also very, very predictable at this time of year is the tirade that they get every year on Twitter or X or whatever the heck it's called, the socials, saying how crap the game is. The community always do it. That's why they call it a beta. It's your fault. You whinge it. If the game could be the best game ever in the franchise history, and there will always be those naysayers criticising the absolute bejesus out of it. And what happens in the beta every single year? There's couple of overpowered guns and the spawns are crap. Watch this back in a year's time and see if I'm wrong. Anyway, we're gonna give our final thoughts on the beta and this game and how it looks for 2024. Should be good. Let's do it. So the unique thing that happened this year is that since Microsoft took over Activision, there is no more early access to only one platform with the beta. In fact, because I'm a Game Pass member, I got early access to the beta in the first week, so I've played both weeks. And I've got to give you the disclaimer right now, ladies and gentlemen, people. I am an absolute fan of the Black Ops series. If you look at all the different studios and all the different configurations of Call of Duty, Black Ops is by far my best. I think Treyarch make the best Call of Duty games in the series, and that's just my personal point of view. And yes, I'm very biased, and this game here very much suits my play style and how I like to play Call of Duty. So I just want to get that out front. So that you're under no illusions that there are other factors in play apart from Black Ops 6, this particular game. And I'm going to try and be as independent as possible, but I do love this game franchise, this series of games. And I've got to tell you, Black Ops 6 does not disappoint in any way, shape or form. So what are the major changes to this versus Modern Warfare 3? Well, the health has been lowered. Modern Warfare 3 was obviously had 150 health. We're back down to the standard Black Ops 100 health. The time to kill is apparently a little bit slower, but because the health's been adjusted, it really doesn't feel that way. I know there's a lot of people that have put out scientific kind of ways of testing this and said, oh yeah, no, this is bog standard for a Call of Duty as far as time to kill. It doesn't feel like that in game. It feels quick, but not too quick. You do have time to adjust to players, and I've been able to turn on players quite a bit at times, and so it's not as fast as maybe Modern Warfare was, where you were just going in a blink eye. You do have a little bit of time to react to things. As far as the UI is concerned, I do like the UI. The gunsmith and your class setup is very clean, very intuitive. You can see here you can pick 3 of the same perks and you get a buff. There's wild cards, all the stuff that you expect in a Black Ops game. The gunsmith has been simplified quite a bit. And there's less cons on your attachments this year. There are some, but majority of your attachments, especially the attachments that you unlock early, don't have any cons to them. So I love that. You just choose what your setup is, put the attachment on. You don't have to sit there for 5 minutes with a ready reckoner and try and figure out everything. You just chuck your attachments on and you're into the game, and then you can mix and match until you find the right setup that works for you. And I really do love the simplification that they've brought to Gunsmith this year. Some people were criticising the speed of the leveling up of the guns. I didn't really find that. I found my guns were leveling up just fine. One thing I will say, one criticism I do have is it was very hard to figure out what attachments you had actually unlocked. I unlocked some reticles at times, and yeah, I wasn't even sure that I'd unlocked them. So I think a much better system, even when you get into this into the attachment screen, if there's an indication of a new attachment in a particular slot, it would really be nice so that we can target in on what we've unlocked straight away and be able to equip it would be good. Strangely enough, I unlocked some sights or some reticles at times, and they didn't run in order. There'd be one at the top and one in the middle and one somewhere down the bottom, which I didn't even know I'd unlocked. So I've got to say though that a lot of the attachments, especially the reticles, I really loved. There wasn't a reticle that I put on my gun that I did not like. Now you'll notice in the creator class as well, for the first time ever, we have a primary, a secondary, and a knife equipped, which is kind of weird, but yeah, I don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. It'll add another dimension to what you can do with your setup, and if you really do get in trouble, at least you've got something to fight with. As far as the maps and modes go, I really like the maps. I really like the maps in this game. Be ready this year though, they are much smaller maps than we're traditionally used to. That works for me because I like a kind of aggressive style of play. They've split them into different areas though, and that was very interesting. I know when I put my initial thoughts on the game, there was a mosh pit which had TDM, hardpoint and domination in it, and I didn't like that fact that they just forced you into a mosh pit. As the game went on and as the beta went on, we got Face Off, which is what you're seeing in this footage now, which is lots of little maps. It gets pretty chaotic. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And then right towards the end of the beta, they added Gunfight, which is the 2v2 mode. So there's plenty of different modes for you to play around with, and they have actually given you appropriate maps to play these different modes on, if you like. And yeah, heck of a lot of fun. I like the flow of the maps, and that's maybe why I like Black Ops so much, because that 3-lane design just really suits my play style a lot. I thought the maps look wonderful. There's always going to be maps that you love. There's always going to be maps that you don't like. I didn't dislike any of the maps really. Rewind, I took my time and get my head around it, but most of the maps you can figure out pretty quickly, and yeah, heck of a lot of fun to run around on. As far as visibility goes, visibility is pretty good most of the time. I did struggle to pick up some of the character models at times, and that could be my old eyes. It could also be the Omni movement, and we'll talk about the Omni movement in a while, but yeah, I think overall the visibility is good. It has that really punchy, saturated look about the maps and about the game. That's traditional with the last couple Black Ops Call of Duties from about 4 onwards. Even Black Ops 3 was pretty punchy, so that's typical of Treyarch games. I like the fact that they've brought back, instead of having a flag, they've brought back those areas for domination and hardpoint and stuff. A lot easier to figure out where you're going and what you need to do. We got access to TDM, we got access to Kill Confirm. There is a new game mode called Kill Order, which is okay. It's okay. It takes a while to get your head around it. I gotta say, it was okay for me. I wouldn't rave about it. If I'm making my custom playlists, I'm not going to play it that often. Maybe play it every so often. It was okay. It's probably not my game mode of choice. I generally don't play hardpoint or domination, although I love hardpoint. And I gotta say, in this game, I find myself playing more and more dom and hardpoint and enjoying the heck out of it. So that bodes well for the game when it launches in a few weeks' time. I spent most of the beta, especially the second week, just experimenting around with guns. You can see in this footage I'm playing with the XM4. As is usual with the beta, there's always a couple of dominant guns, the Jacko PD Dub SMG being one of them. But I've got to say, on balance, and I did play around with a lot of all the ARs, all the SMGs, and marksman rifle, and I thought the gun balance overall was pretty good. You can see especially with the ARs, the different ARs definitely have individual character about them. Also, there was unlocked the SMG at the end of the second week, which is a burst SMG, which is kind of interesting. I mean, that's traditional for Treyarch to have a burst SMG. And yeah, the Jaco PD dub did dominate the first week, but I thought they got the balance pretty right. It wasn't too bad. The AK-47 was good. The aims. I thought the balance was good in the variety of guns that we were given access to, and I'm sure that we're going to get at least double or triple the guns when the full game launches. But I thought it was okay. I was competitive with all the guns that I tried. Obviously, when you're learning the game, you're trying all different configurations, and yeah, you got to be able to cop some beatings when you're doing that. But overall, I was competitive with whatever I picked up or whatever I tried. The pacing of the game is extremely quick. I will say that. It feels very quick. The Omni movement just puts a different dimension into this game, ladies and gentlemen, I must admit. And I've heard a few people talking about the possibility of taking tac stance at, because the Omni movement just is so quick. It really leads to some really fascinating and real fun gunfights and ways to play the game. It has added just this other layer to what you can do with this game, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. I was getting some insane kills and kill chains in the game with the Omni movement. It is so much fun, and it does take a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's going to be frightening what some players are going to be able to do with the Omni movement in this game moving forward. Last thing I'd like to talk about is the spawns. The spawns weren't too bad. I didn't think the spawns overall were too bad. The first week was a little bit rough, but you got to keep in mind, well, a lot of this depends on what you're playing. If you're playing Face Off, you're playing on extremely small maps, and it's very hard to balance the spawns. They introduced a new map called Babylon, and that spawn logic was just very flawed. So it's pretty normal for a beta, and that's usually what they're using the beta for, is collecting a lot of data and trying to balance the spawns out. Traditionally, it always takes them a while to get the spawns figured out for the game, which is incredible because they've had 4 years to develop the game. You would think they'd be doing some level of playtesting to be able to do that. But anyway, that's traditional for Activision and Call of Duty. It always happens every year with the spawns. It's always a problem, and they'll get it figured out, and I don't think they're too far off, to be honest, getting the spawns figured out in this game. So my final thoughts on the game, I really like it. I think I'm going to love this game as much as I did Cold War, and I explained why at the start of this video. I like this franchise, I'm not going to lie, and I really like this game. I think that what they've added is really nice, and it has actually made the game fun again, and it doesn't feel as grindy as it has for the last few years, and I'm really looking forward to playing the full version of this game. I think the campaign is probably going to be insane. I can't wait to get my hands on zombies, and I will be covering some of this periodically on the channel, so make sure you're watching out for that. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope it gave you a kind of view of Black Ops 6, and I'd be interested to hear from you if you're going to play it this year. Anyway, thanks for the support on the channel, and we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. Oh, see ya.